Here's Matt LaFleur talking about his team taking the field in Brazil to start their season.
Do I need to do that again? Bom dia! Well, this is our second international game in 3 years, so I'm sure we're going to be playing more of these. And it truly is a privilege, though. I mean, to any opportunity that we get to go anywhere, whether it's home, away, overseas, it's a great opportunity for our players, for our team to show what we're all about.
I forgot about that London game a couple of years ago when Giants fans were chanting out in the parking lot, "Shove the F and cheese up your arse." And I don't know what the Portuguese translation is, but they might be hearing it in the parking lot today.
Yes, they might, Mike. This can be a fun game, I think, to start the season. And first game in Brazil, we'll see how it turns out for them.
And, hey, we've heard a lot of, not a lot, but some consternation from Eagles players about having to go to Brazil to start the season. We really haven't heard much from the Packers about it. Josh Jacobs said some things months ago. I mean, the Packers kind of know, and I know you're not a believer in the Packers. Most of the PFT writers, based upon our preseason prognostications, believe in the Packers. I have them going to the Super Bowl. I think multiple others have them going to the Super Bowl as well. You don't. But they have that kind of glow and gleam to them because of how they finished last season. I'm a big fan in carryover, although I understand that there's a significant amount of the roster that doesn't carry over from year to year. It's not like it was in the 70s and 80s where, you know, you've got that big kick at the end and it plugs right into the next year. You do have a lot of changes to make, but the key positions, quarterback and coach, you know, they've upgraded with Josh Jacobs. The receivers are young and improving. There's reason to believe that the Packers, that finish from last year was a sign of things to come. And I think it makes this matchup even more intriguing because the Eagles were crumbling down the stretch. As the Packers were ascending, Shireen, the Philadelphia Eagles were falling apart.
I agree with you, Mike. I love the coach. I think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL. Probably underrated a little bit. We don't talk about him enough when we start talking about the best coaches in the league. I do think he's there. And Jordan Love, certainly, you mentioned the second half of the season. There were that 9-game stretch to end the season, which included that playoff game against the Cowboys, 21 touchdowns and interception. He ascended. He was much better in the second half of the season. Very, very good. The rest of their roster, I don't like it very much. They did upgrade at receiver. I mean, at running back, I agree with you. I think Josh Jacobs is better than what they had. This will be a big test for them. Big test really for both teams because the Eagles did crumble. I just think when you look at that division, it's improved. Now the Vikings, your Vikings, I think are fourth in that division clearly, but the Bears are going to be much improved. You still have the Lions. To me, somebody in that division has to get left out. And I love the Bears. They haven't done it yet, but I love where they're headed. If Caleb Williams can play like we think he can play, like the Bears think he can play, I think they're going to be the number 2 team in that division. But you're right. The Packers have shown it more. They've proved that they can be that team and perhaps even win the division if things go right for them.
When the NFL plays games in London, there's a fascination with extra points and field goals because that's the thing that reminds them of the dominant sport in that country. I assume that same dynamic applies to the dynamic kickoff, which was not so dynamic last night, and field goals and extra points in Sao Paulo. Here's Matt LaFleur focusing on the rushing angle, both sides, for tonight's game.
I think the run game is going to be critical for both teams tomorrow. Certainly, we both have new backs, so that'll be exciting to see. I think 2 premier backs in this league. Obviously, Philly's ability to run the ball with Jalen is always a challenge. I think last time we played the Eagles, he ran for over 100 yards. It was a long day for our team, our defense in particular. And so it's always a great challenge. I think they do a great job running the football. I think when you look at their front, both offensively and defensively, it's a pretty dominant front. But at the same time, I'm looking at our guys, really excited to see what we're able to do. like I said, it's going to be a great challenge, but one that we're looking forward to.
Yeah, and I really do see this as an excellent opportunity for the Green Bay Packers to make a statement. Primetime standalone game, even though it's a funky looking stadium very far from home, this is kind of not a reminder, but just an announcement. We're here. When you're thinking about your teams that you should be paying attention to for 2024, do not forget about us. We are here. And it as I've been saying for the past few weeks, I hope the folks in Brazil, Shireen, appreciate. We've been exporting not great games to London for a long time. I hope the folks in Brazil appreciate what they're getting for their first NFL game.
Yeah, this is two of the premier teams in the NFC, Mike, and going to be competing for that NFC title. So they got a really good one.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.